They were going to do something pretty different for this channel. All the way back in the year 2010, I purchased my first smartphone. Okay, not my first phone, but my first smartphone. I had been working full-time for a little while at that point, and there was a phone that was just calling my name, so I purchased it. And today, I have that phone in this cardboard box. We're going to unbox it, and I'm going to sort of relive my past, relive the joy, the excitement of that initial unboxing to some degree. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the original Palm Pre. Let's cut into this box and see what she looks like after all these years. All right, guys. I was so excited to get the Palm Pre when it first came out. A lot of people assume, because I've done so much Duo content, that I was a Microsoft person, a Windows Phone person. I was not. I was initially a WebOS person, and I hold to that to this day. WebOS, phenomenal operating system that a lot of what we do in modern smartphones, the lineage can be drawn directly to WebOS. And hopefully this thing functions properly and we'll be able to kind of draw those comparisons. It's in my hand. I am very, very excited. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Look at this absolute beauty of a phone. Wow. For those that do not know, this is what the Palm Pre looked like. This has a massive 3.1-inch touchscreen, a very high resolution 3 megapixel camera, 256 megabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of storage, a 600 megahertz Cortex A8 processor, and a full QWERTY keyboard that I still think, looks okay. There's also a touch sensitive area down here at the bottom, and a little button there, which hopefully we'll be able to show what these things do. Volume rocker over here. And then I think this is like a covered up thing where you charge it. Yes, it is. And it is USB micro. No USB-C here. And no selfie camera, but you don't need one because there's a reflective space right there. There I am. You use that to frame your selfies, and off you go. I highly doubt that this has any charge at all, but I do believe it feels like there is a battery in here. Yes, the back is removable. Crazy to think about. And yes, there is a battery in here, so that's good to see. It has power. Honestly, the screen's not in terrible shape. There's a few little micro scratches there, but for a phone that is, what would this be, 13, 14 years old? It's holding up all right. The boot process taking a little bit of time. I really hope this thing is like fully functional and there's not any kind of lock on it or anything like that. I'm going to be miserably disappointed if that's the case. All right, and we are into the OS. Everything is functional. I have a voicemail maybe down here. Let me see if I can remember how to use this thing literally at all. So this is going to get us into our applications, which you can see some of the things on here. Messaging, web, camera, photos. Are there any photos on here? Did anybody leave any photos on? You can see here, this application opens up in a card. And you can swipe up from the bottom to get to, oh man, I don't remember how to do this. I know that this gives you like, okay, this is like your, like to quickly launch a second app, right? But then you can click on this button and multitask or throw that thing away. There are photos on this thing. Someone's lovely office. We can then launch another application like the web browser, and it's going to open up in its own card, MySpace. And that will allow us to switch between active cards, I believe. I think I figured out why that gesture isn't working. I think you actually have to enable that, and I think it's under screen and lock. Switch, okay, advanced gestures, switch applications on. So now, if we do a quick swipe up, and let's just launch another application, we should be able to now quickly switch between. There we go. Okay, if I swipe above the little button, it's working much more consistently. Cool. Well, you can definitely do this and switch between active cards. So this is the multitasking experience here on the Palm Pre. Let's go into Wi-Fi and get this turned on. And while we're trying to get that going, you can definitely see the inspiration, the cards, right? The multitasking cards are something that sort of originated here. Let's pull open the keyboard. We are signing into the Wi-Fi now. We are connected. So, boom. So we can go back and go back to our web browser. And let's fire up youtube.com. What are we going to get here? Blazing fast speeds loading these pages. Please update your browser. Well, darn. I do want to kind of like hammer home, though, the coolness of this multitasking experience, right? Like other phones on the market, we're not doing anything at all in regard to true multitasking like this. And Palm was just so far out ahead when it comes to this stuff, okay? Like this was 2009, okay? And we were switching between apps literally with the same gesture that we still are doing this with. It's the same thing, okay? Like it's the same exact mechanism, and they had it so early. I used this phone when I was writing video game news, and I would have a website open here with a press release, and I would have my WordPress app or something like that open, and I'm switching over, I'm reading, I'm switching back, I'm typing, and I'm writing news, I'm reporting news with my Palm Pre. It was such a cool experience that was so far ahead of its time. Let's look back at our other applications here. Tasks, AP Mobile, Sprint Football Live, videos. Are there any videos on the phone? You get a chance to hear the speakers here, or the speaker. Which, like, honestly, not as bad as I would have thought. Throwing away a notification like that, very, very, similar to the modern stuff. There's also a really cool feature that I believe they call Just Type, where you could basically slide this thing open, and then on your home screen, just start typing something, and it will just start searching. Now, there's a YouTube app. It'll just start searching immediately for contacts or applications right then and there. Registration failed. Try later. Okay, whatever. Honestly, the keyboard feels okay, but I'm missing some keys. Like, I have to, like, really press down, so there may be some damage to this keyboard. But otherwise, it actually feels okay. I may not be able to get the YouTube app to work because of this error that it just gave. App catalog. I can't imagine that this is actually still functional in any way. What's new? I'm guessing nothing's new. Unfortunately, almost nothing is still functional. Google Maps is not working. The browser is there, but it's not, it wants to be updated to use pretty much anything. Let's jump into the camera. Maybe we'll be able to take a stunning photo with it. I do feel like I remember you could use the space bar to take the picture. Yes, you absolutely can. So let's turn flash off and let's take a photo. Of course, using the back as a reflective material to take a selfie. And there you go. That's what you're dealing with. 3 megapixel camera. Incredible. So there you go, guys. A phone well ahead of its time in a lot of ways in terms of navigation, multitasking, and all sorts of really cool things like that. A phone whose form factor I frankly miss. I would love to be using a vertical slider like this with a keyboard and a big touch screen. I guess the BlackBerry Priv was the most recent device that was kind of somewhat like this, but man, WebOS on like a modern device that was like quick and fully featured would be so cool to see these days. I love this phone. I miss this phone, and it was really cool getting to pull it out of the box and mess around with it and bring this stuff to you. Hopefully this was enjoyable. Maybe some of you were big Palm Pre fans back in the day. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.